Are you ready? Are you ready for Extreme Rules? Well, you better be, because it's in less than 2 days. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as my WWE Extreme Rules 2021 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments, provided I haven't fried your goddamn eardrums with that terrible, terrible rendition of AC/DC's Are You Ready for a Good Time? Anyway, this show had its moments. It also had some filler, and I barely know her. So, go home show for Extreme Rules. It's not the horror show at Extreme Rules. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about an eye for an eye match. Watch them try to do that for Liv and Carmella down the road. Hopefully not. That would be really goddamn weird. Also, funny, before I get to the SmackDown review, no real stipulations outside of one match, and we are less than 2 days before the pay-per-view. I don't really fucking understand it. What is extreme about this? They could have called it Fully Loaded, but apparently that's not PG enough. Even though, who wouldn't be fully loaded looking at... Let's move on from that. So Becky, speaking of being fully loaded while watching something, is here. And in Philly, they are lynch mob country. That sounded a lot better in my head. I'm just going to roll with it. And they recap Bianca's homecoming and how Becky laid her out and everything. A Fox mandate that a Caucasian woman must lay out an African-American woman on their Friday night show. And Becky knocks Bianca, and she says she likes cake. She's all about that cake. Frosted, or you know what? I'm just gonna go on from this. Maybe it's like Lillian liking the people's strudel. So, laws of the jungle is hit or be hit. I don't believe those are the laws of the jungle, but let's just move on from that. What was I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's maybe juice this thing up a little bit better. Here's Bianca. And they have a war of words with some pretty good stuff, and said it'll be different at Extreme Rules. Not, again, the horror show at Extreme Rules. And get a brief brawl, and Bianca stands tall, which pretty much means that Becky's probably going to retain through shenanigans. And our first match is Nakamura and Rick Boogs in his corner against Apollo and Commander Aziz Light for the Intercontinental Championship. Hooray! We're doing this match again. Was it fine? Sure. Boogs was strumming his lengthy instrument, and everybody loved it. Pat McAfee enjoying Nakamura's entrance will never get old. I'm so glad that Pat McAfee has recovered from his bout with the virus. So, Boogs at one point lifting Aziz, who is not a small guy, and tossing him outside. That was impressive. And trap for the win. There we go. Pat then was enjoying himself and having fun, and Nakamura has had the quietest Intercontinental Championship run. I don't think he's had a run this quiet since his U.S. Championship run that lasted for about 5 goddamn months. So anyway, I wish Kayla was as smart as she was beautiful. And I mean because she's made some questionable tweets saying you don't need to have the same political opinion. You can have different political opinions and still be friends with people. To an extent. She's still beautiful though, and she's still got a bubbly personality. And she seems nice, and she's got good jokes. But anyway... Montez Ford talks about the Usos and calls them bloodline bitches. Roman doesn't like that and demands that Heyman, Wise Man, get him a match against Montez Ford. And he says, Wise Man, why are you still here? That was some pretty good stuff. I did like how Heyman called the Usos the greatest tag team of all time. In what fucking universe? I mean, the Usos are certainly better than the Young Bucks, in my personal opinion. And there are people that will feel differently, and that's totally fine. But the Usos aren't even in my top 10 of favorite tag teams of all time. Now, if people feel differently, you know what, fuck it. Let me know your top 5 favorite tag teams in the comments, please. I'll give you mine. The Steiners and the Road Warriors at number 1, the Steiners at number 2. Let's just throw the fucking Midnight Express in there. Let's throw Arn and Tully, and let's throw the Hart Foundation in there. I mean, I probably could come up with others, but let's just go with that. So anyway, we do all that stuff with Roman and Heyman. By the way, Cole is so fucking bad at his job. Michael Cole's so fucking bad at commentary. Can we please remove him from commentary? Anyway, Sonya and Pierce are talking to Heyman, and Heyman says, the tribal chief, the head at the table. Wait, that's him getting head at the table. Stop thinking about it, Noah. I know you're thinking about it. And I love calling out my friends on Twitter from Twitter, because they do the same for me if they were doing YouTube videos. And it's not like I won't have thirst tweets here. By the way, earlier they showed Tony Storm for all of 20 seconds as Boog strummed his instrument. I was perfectly fine when Tony Storm was on camera. If you believe that, then you have not paid attention to this channel at all. I love Tony Storm. Got to meet her 3 years ago in an indie show. I'm so happy for her success. So, they say to him, by the way, that match will happen, but we're not going to tell you where Brock's going to go in the draft. And he says, well, after this match, then we'll talk about the draft. And then Rollins is in a red suit, knocking Edge, and basically wants an answer. He hasn't heard from him. It's a pre-tape backstage, and says, if you don't answer me, I will find where you sleep, and I will beat those words out of you in front of your wife and children. The choice is yours. Did Rollins get influence from the Benoit household? Yes, I'm going to hell. So Liv was gently scissoring the ropes while the camera lingered on her. Stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking. Stop it, Kier. Kier, you know you are. You know you're thinking about it. Liv in leather, gently scissoring the ropes. Just going to let that marinate in your head right there, even though I'm sure it always does. Not knocking. Liv, of course, is a beautiful woman. She has definitely improved in the ring as well. She takes on Zelina Vega. Okay. Zelina Vega has had like the quietest, most mundane return this side of, I don't know, I can't even think of a more mundane return. And it's nothing against her. Like, she's trying, and I hope she got a pretty good pay boost. Still say she probably would have been better off in AEW, but wherever she's happy with, good for her. All right, Carmella was on commentary and was wrapped in a bunch of fruit roll-ups. Seriously, I think a bunch of fruit roll-up boxes died to make that outfit. Zelina wins because of distractions, because why the fuck not? Which means that Liv is going to win on Sunday, hopefully. And happy talk with Baron Corbin. Great, that's just what we fucking need as another talk show. It's nothing against Baron Corbin, even though I really loathe the Baron Corbin character. Seriously, I don't think you understand how much I can't stand seeing this boring, WWE human equivalent of NyQuil on my screen. But that being said, it's a stupid character. The thanks for nothing sign was appropriate. And it's all about putting smiles on people's faces. Man, Vince's parasitic brainworm, as opposed to the non-parasitic brainworm that he has, must have infested Corbin's ears, infesting in his ears and nesting. So he has some guests. Oh, wait, it's him. He's his own guest, like he's his own grandpa. Wait, that was something else. We don't care, Chance. This crowd is smart, because Philly is really smart. Here comes Owens. Is that Riddick Moss? Is a question that not many people have been asking. But yes, it's Riddick Moss. He's there, and Corbin and Riddick Moss are a team, and they put Owens onto the steps. Genuine question, is this just a way to get Owens out of the company? Because apparently his contract ends either in December of this year or January of next year. And honestly, if it's ending that soon, I wouldn't blame him if he went to AEW because he had his friends and everything. He's done. Besides winning the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania, he's really done just about everything in WWE. He's been there for, going on 6 years now, because he came in there at the end of 2014. So Ford is going to get his shot one way or another at Roman. He's going to make himself noticed. And I fucking need Rhea to step on me. I'm just going to open the floor to kink shaming right here. But Rhea, fucking goddamn, she's beautiful. And Edge will be on Smackdown next week in Baltimore. And it's Nikki Ash versus Rhea with Natty as her opponent and Tamina in her corner. Roll up for 3. I love Natty. My goodness, Natty looked good. Natty always looks good. Good on Natty for continuing to basically get matches and everything on TV, despite the fact she's been there for a while. And that's not knocking. She's a workhorse. She's barely been injured. She came back from that ankle injury really quickly. A lot quicker than a lot of people would have. But it was what it was. Then Shotzi and Tegan show up, and Tegan immediately snaps her ACL again. I'm going to hell for that as well. And they fire a missile at her. Or at Nikki Ash and then Rhea. And Rhea just steps on the missile. I wish I was... Anyway. So, that was something. And then Ray is telling Dominic what he needs to improve. Dad, you're suffocating me. My God, the Benoit household influence really is all over this place. So Zayn is then talking to him after Ray leaves, says, you're doing amazing, sweetie. And Naomi is here, but she's not scheduled to compete. Who wants to feel the glow? Sonya starts cutting her down or whatever because they're making Sonya the Fox executive, and they don't like people like Naomi. And Naomi basically says, well, hey, how about I take you on? Book the match, or, make the match, make the match, make the match. And the crowd's chanting or whatever. It's like, I would smack that glow off your face is what Sonya said to her. This is some good stuff, some really good rapport. We know once your entrance is over, it's all downhill from there. Damn, Sonya. Jeez. Kill shot. That's probably what creative thinks. And Naomi's talented. Naomi won me over a number of years ago. And I gotta say, she has worked really hard and hope she gets some opportunities out of this. Hopefully she joins the bloodline or something. After herniating every disc in her back carrying Lana as part of a tag team, she definitely deserves something. So the Usos stare down Gable and Majin Buu. And an NXT 2.0 ad, apparently featuring all women next week. Well, they do have 3 women's matches, so maybe it's entirely possible. So Becky will make Bianca suffer. So we get Roman with Heyman versus Montez Ford. Let's hear it for Heyman. Also, good match. Ford will be a great single star. There are people saying that he will be Universal or WWE Champion. Okay, you can believe that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I will just be surprised if he is ever WWE Champion. Because I'm worried he's going to brain himself doing these dives, even though he is really talented. Roman just soaking it all in, soaking the, massive unleashing of adulation all over the crowd. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? But I run a clean show, which means you've just been tuning in now, because I'm never clean. So anyway, announcer's table spot, it just prolapsed right there in front of everybody. And Montez just no-selling it. Road to the top ad during Smackdown. No, I don't think I will. Get the fuck away from me. What the hell are you doing? Pace is good. Montez looked like he was going to get the victory. Got a frog splash, but the knees got up and then the guillotine choke, and there we go. Heyman then says that's not enough for him to pay for his sins. Choke him out. Here are the Usos. They get a table, kendo sticks, a chair, and Uranagi right through the table. And then the demon music hits, and then Balor suddenly up on the goddamn ropes, just up on the top rope. Where was he hiding? Was he hiding under the ring? Did he suddenly run down there, while they were playing the music? Did he appear out of the barricade? Was it like that much of camouflage? I have no idea. But what he did is he hit chair shots aplenty, and it's going to be the Demon versus the Tribal Chief. It's going to be Balor's, Balor unleashing his demon all over Roman while he gets head at the table. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on SmackDown. Now, let's get to Extreme Rules 2021. As of right now, and I'm recording this late on Friday, I actually checked to see if they had any matches. So, if they had anything in the pre-show, excuse me for not having the clairvoyance to look ahead and see. Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Thankfully, it did not end up being a makeover match like I originally thought. Liv Morgan, for the love of God, have Liv Morgan win. Carmella's not very good. Liv deserves a win. So I got Liv winning. Watch them give it to Carmella. Watch the fruit roll-up suit come to life or whatever and distract Liv. And then the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise roll-up 1, 2, 3. And the fruit roll-up suit wins. No, Liv will win. Usos versus Street Profits for the SmackDown tag titles. Usos win. Why? Keep them on the bloodline. That's all you got to do. Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss, Raw Women's Championship. I don't care. I don't. We're doomed either way. We either have to endure another lengthy Charlotte title reign, or we get Alexa Fiendish Bliss, and maybe they'll get a title for Lily, and it will just be the Calbrena Crusade. And we'll get Cecil as a paladin here, and this is way too deep. Nobody has any goddamn idea what I'm talking. If you do, please tell me you understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'll just go with Alexa winning. I don't care. I don't care who wins. I'm going to hate this. I can already tell. Because I don't like this fiendish stuff. And I'm sick of Charlotte. Even though Charlotte can put on great matches. And Alexa isn't bad in the ring. I just don't think she's great. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Bel-Air, SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky's going to win, but it's going to be via shenanigans to build to whatever the October pay-per-view is going to be. Oh, wait. It's going to be Crown Jewel. So they can't have the women over there. I mean, they can if they cover them up and everything, because apparently they consider women sacred over there. Sure they fucking do. They consider camels more sacred over there. I'm talking about the government. I'm not talking about the citizens. Anyway, let's move on from that. Becky Lynch will win via shenanigans. Shenanigans! And then we get Priest versus, Damien Priest, versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy for the U.S. Championship. Damien Priest, probably pin Jeff Hardy when Jeff Hardy tries to do some move off the top rope and then stumbles, because Jeff Hardy should not be in a goddamn wrestling ring. Damien Priest retains. Roman Reigns versus the Demon, Finn Balor. Extreme Rules match for the Universal Championship. This is the only stipulation match on the show as of late Friday. Fucking ridiculous. Roman's going to win. He's going to beat the Demon. Only the second person to beat the Demon. I don't remember who pointed this out to me, but it was a while ago that, third person. No, second person to beat the Demon. Because it wasn't the Demon versus the Fiend. The Fiendman, if you will. Samoa Joe beat the Demon at NXT TakeOver at the end. And Roman's going to be the second guy to beat him. Okay. Those are my Extreme Rules predictions. Really, there was no point in doing another video. I hope the pay-per-view is going to be good. There's potential for some of the matches to be fine, but this looks like a pretty meh pay-per-view. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.